favorite toy from childhood, but what if they grew up too, as in became giant toys? Toytopia is a new exhibit opening at the Washington State History Museum where you can relive your favorite kid moments and play with big versions of beloved toys. Please welcome from the Washington State Historical Society, Mary Michael Stump. How are you?
I'm doing well.
This sounds like heaven. We've had ice cream and toys today.
I know, we're channeling our inner child.
We are rocking it. So tell me about some of the things you brought today.
Well, I want to start first by talking about playthings that have a Washington root. Pictionary was invented by someone from Western Washington.
I did not know that.
Yes. Yeah, he
Mercer Island, everybody's saying.
Oh, there you go.
There we go. Whoa.
He used to play a game while he was in school. They would pick a dictionary, pick a word from the dictionary, and draw pictures.
Right.
So he found his notes later when he moved to Seattle. Self-published this game, the first 6,000 games, and
boom.
Sbro bought it, and it's now what it is.
And
now
that is not the only Western Washington toy.
Not the only Washington toy. We have the Slinky Dog was invented right here in Seattle in the 1960s. Helen Malstead gave a toy to her son, and her son said, "I wonder what the Slinky would be like if it had wheels on it." So she took a pull toy and put them on the end of Slinkies, and the Slinky Dog was born.
I love all these toys in front too, because they kind of show us how we've changed over the years.
Definitely.
What kinds of things we play with.
You know, I think the interesting thing about that is you can look at the materials that toys were made of, and it really does tell you the history of toys. And given the fact that we're from the History Museum, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about that. Depending on what was going on in the world, if we were at war, we didn't use metal for toys. We used other materials, sawdust, pressed things. And then as technology advanced and we were able to shoot plastics into molds, we ended up getting even a different color palette. So it's a really interesting thing to look at the evolution of toys in that way.
And also the agricultural figures and things when chickens were popular to play with.
The first time.
The first time. The first time.
Okay.
Exactly.
So I want to talk about some toys that we have are really enduring. The Lincoln Logs were invented in 1916 by the son of Frank Lloyd Wright, believe it or not.
Wow.
He was in Tokyo with his father working on the Imperial Hotel, and the foundation of that hotel, in order to be earthquake resistant, fit just like this.
Oh, how interesting. And it gave him the idea?
Yes, exactly. So 1916, and you can still go to the toy store today and buy this.
Those. You have an Etch A Sketch, which I used to be obsessed with. Actually, still would be if I had one.
Imagine if this was 8 feet tall. That's what you'll see at Toytopia.
That's what we have at
Yes,
Toytopia.
definitely.
That is unreal.
And this toy actually didn't make it off the ground the first time. It was yeah, the first time they pitched it to Ohio Art, it was a Frenchman, and they sort of said, no, we're going to pass on that. The second time they took it, and it became really an iconic.
I'm glad. Didn't everybody spend their childhood trying to do their name in cursive with an Etch A Sketch? Barbies and GI Joes.
Barbies, we have here, I'm going to tell you, the true Barbie aficionado will know that this Fashion Queen Barbie, who actually has wigs.
Yes.
She is the first.
How well I remember.
Yes, you remember her. She would have come with a gold lame bathing suit and,
as one does,
and a turban, of course.
Yes.
One of the things that makes a toy the most collectible are the gathering and keeping of those accoutrements that came with it to begin with. The turban would make this much more collectible and much more valuable as a toy. But she's in her gold lame dress today. And this is a reissue of a classic Barbie, and your audience was talking earlier. I had that Barbie.
Yeah,
I didn't have that Barbie. GI Joe was Hasbro's, Hasbro's answer to Mattel's Barbie, and it actually, the inventor of the GI Joe saw one of those artist models that is jointed and moves that artists draw from, and got the idea of the jointed GI Joe, which is much more ready for action.
Exactly. We still have a Millennium Falcon at our house, so you know, obviously these aren't that old.
Well, I want to talk about this because Star Wars toys in particular, and it's funny, this has really been the buzz backstage. People have walked by, oh my gosh, this had the Millennium Falcon. It's those moments of recognition that we're really celebrating in
Right.
Toytopia. But George Lucas, this was the first time a toy was actually used to promote a movie, and there wasn't a lot of, the first Star Wars in 1977 wasn't really, didn't play well in terms of the beginning audiences.
But over time, we definitely have. We want to show you a little bit about what you can see and play with. We have just about a minute left.
Yeah.
Explain to us what we can play with if we come to the exhibit.
Sure. Well, you'll see here the big piano that Tom Hanks was on in Big, and these are Kiva planks, which are the contemporary answer to the Lincoln Logs that I showed you earlier. Of course, Mr. Potato Head, which originally didn't come with a plastic potato. It came with things that you put on a real potato. And his friend, I think his name was Pete, Pepper Pete.
And then we have pictures of a few giant things, giant dollhouse.
Yes, a ginormous dollhouse
Giant
filled with
Etch A Sketch.
Yes, gears, Etch A Sketch, Lincoln Logs.
Oh, how fun.
Lots and lots of things to do.
Totally fun. Thank you so very
much, Margaret.
Toytopia opens tomorrow, runs through June 10th at Washington State History Museum in Tacoma. Further information, of course, is on our website, and we'll be right back. Thank you. That looks so much fun.